Well, hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. I'm Maureen Pisani with ProThrive Science-Based Hypnotherapy. And today I'm going to talk about something else I do. As most of you might have noticed, in my bio, there is written that I've authored 12 books. And I get a lot of people with what's known publicly as writer's block. Well, I don't have writer's block. I'm going to tell you the secret of how to never have writer's block. Do you want to hear it? Of course you do. Because when you have that inkling inside that you want to write something, I call it like percolating. It's an old coffee term. So the percolator just bubbles slowly in hours and hours of slowly percolating to give it that richness, that depth. So when it comes to writing books, I have a technique. And I have no problem sharing it with you because, hey, if you get to be successful, that makes me happy. So when it comes to writing a book, and I remember there was a time, at least 12 years ago, where I had this book in mind. And it was there, right? Percolating. As in, you need to write it, but you're not quite sure how to write it, and you're not quite sure if it's the right book to write. You know those feelings, right? So what I do, I get a sense, this is different for all of us, but for me, and I can only tell you what is for me, right? For me, my unconscious mind is about 45 degrees behind me to the right. So every night before I fall asleep, even back then, and I still do it now, if I have a project I'm working on, I will look towards over there and go, okay, I have a project, and you give whatever book you're working on, the title, the description, how you connect with it. I want you to work on that book, and when you're ready, you let me know. And then you fall asleep. You see, your unconscious mind is working 24/7. So for you to have a subcommittee doing all the unconscious work for you is actually one of the best ways to prepare yourself to write the book. You don't think about it. You just give it the order every night. Think about the book, think about the project. When you're ready, let me know. And then one day, and it will happen, guaranteed, you will get this urge, almost like somebody's tapping you on the shoulder. You will get this urge, write the book, write the book, write the book, get the plan. And you'll find that as you write it, it flows. One of my books is called Invisible to Invincible. It's almost like a mini memoir. And I had jostled around with it, should I not, can I not? And I did this process. And that book was written in 6.5 days. I just sat and typed and flowed. And it was just an amazing experience because every other book I've written has had that same experience. When it comes to how you process, even just thinking in a normal conversation, we feel it, it's all underneath the conscious. We have the feeling, the words are formulated, and then we speak them. But there's this unconscious process. Now, in a conversation, it's spot on, right? It's impromptu, it's right there, live. But with a book, you need the flow. And the flow is what I just shared with you. Now, another little trick. Think of what is the message you want the book to have. Write it on a sticky note and stick it on the monitor of your computer. So as you're typing away, as you're sharing the story, as you're going into that anecdote, as you're going into that memory, sometimes we go down a rabbit hole. So as you look up, and there's that little message. This is the route you want. This is the message you want. This is the lesson you want to share. That little sticky note will bring you back on track. And it's a very easy way to keep the book on track and keep it concise. Yes, there are some books that are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages. I'm actually reading one like that right now. But I want to be a little bit more succinct. So, come from the space where you know what the message is, you adhere to the message, you allow your unconscious mind to do all the work, the background work for you, and then off you go. And it's done. Now, another thing I suggest, and I'm going to tell you my secret, this is how I do it. Every time you complete something, we lack celebrating successes. We work hard for them, we give it all we've got, we fight like crazy, we work like crazy, and then when we achieve it, it's like, oh, whatever. No. You need to celebrate it. So as soon as you're done, And I've done this at 12:30 at night. I've done this at 3 a.m. I've done this whenever I finish the project. And again, don't ask me why, but I always look to my right. I finished project. I remember with the Invisible to Invincible book, I'm typing, and I stop. And in my heart, I know there's a moment, even artists will tell you, well, one more brush stroke would ruin the masterpiece. So I came to that point where one more word would have ruined the project. And in my heart, I knew it was done. And as I knew it was done, I get the surge of excitement, right? And it's like, oh, it's done. And then I look to my right and I say, every time, and that's how it's done. And it is so good to be there. It's so good to have that completion, that satisfaction inside. Because then it's a milestone, then it's achieved, then nothing and no one can take it away from you. So when it comes to writing books, allow the percolating to occur. Give your unconscious mind, the subcommittee, the job to work on. If you have a glitch, if you have a little missing link where you feel that there's a gap and you need to bridge it somehow, give it to the unconscious mind. I have a gap. I need to bridge this from here to here. Work on it and let me know. The trick is you have to ask it to let you know, because otherwise it'll just keep circling, right? Like the hamster's wheel. So when you work on it, when you find it, when you bridge it, let me know. And you will. And it is so good to know. Because it's easy. Your unconscious mind has more information than the biggest computer ever. So utilize it. It's there for you. So as you do all this, enjoy the process. When you think about the book, so you have an idea and you go, I think I want to write that book. Instantaneously, your unconscious self-identity comes back with, oh really, you think people want to read your book? Well, guess what? The simple thought that you had that thought means yes, there are people who need to read your book. They need to read about the topic from your perspective. They need to hear your words. They need to connect with your heart, and you will make a difference. Now, if you make a difference in one person's life, that's a life well lived. What if you made a difference in hundreds or thousands or millions of people's lives? That's how all authors work. If you had the thought and you have a message to share, trust your heart, trust your unconscious mind, and write it. And again, if you have questions, if you have a situation you want me to help you personally, absolutely reach out to me, prothrivesph.com. On all platforms you will find me, Maureen Pisani, helping the personal so the professional can succeed. See you later. Bye-bye.